Hey, Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni. It hasn't stopped yet. Late last night, after we were done with the show, Blake Lively's lawyers have come out. They talked to People magazine specifically, and they said they're condemning more attacks, quote, from Justin Baldoni's team, not a he said, she said. So very quick little backup. On December 20th, we know Blake Lively, who starred in It Ends With Us with Justin Baldoni, filed a complaint against Baldoni and others, including alleging sexual harassment and retaliatory smear campaign to tarnish her reputation. Since then, New York Times has done an op-ed. Justin Baldoni's team then filed a $250 million lawsuit against the Times over the article. Fast forward to now. As of late last night, Blake Lively's team has said there are serious claims of sexual harassment and retaliation and are backed by concrete facts. This is not a feud arising from creative differences or a he said, she said situation. And they continued, as alleged in Ms. Lively's complaint, and as we will prove in litigation, Wayfarer Studios, which is Justin Baldoni's studio company, and its associates engaged in an unlawful retaliatory astroturfing against Ms. Lively for simply trying to protect herself and others on the film set. They go on to basically say that this is like a classic tactic of let's blame the victim and actually make it look like the person who did the misconduct is the person that is the victim now. Really, truly just going on to say, here's the deal. Since we came out with this, Justin's team has sued. There's going to be more lawsuits in the future, and we will hold up everything we said in court. This is not he said, she said. It's not a feud. It's not a battle of I don't like you. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, this is a tactic we've seen in politics. We've seen in celebrities in general. The idea here is to put each other on even footing. And I'm not right. saying we are not picking sides in this. Nope. We are not victim blaming. I know all of us feel strongly about that. But we can see strategy why it would make sense for both of them to, well, especially Justin Baldoni to come out and say, you know, look, we're both saying stuff here. You know what I mean? And again, like it, I don't even want to say time will tell, because the real truth of it is, which is a freaking bummer in the world that we live in, time will probably not tell. We'll probably really never know the real truth. Now, will there be some sort of legal justice in one way or the other? Maybe or not. I'm not sure. But I can tell you this is that, like, it's rare you get to know actually what happened.
Mm-hmm. Well, and even when we get the all the filing, and the Blake's team has said, we encourage people to read the actual complaint. When we read parts of that, and then Justin's team shows his receipts. If we talked about the breastfeeding thing, that was a big one, about how he and other members of the team entered her trailer while she was breastfeeding. And she was very uncomfortable with that. And then he came out and said, here's the text message in it, it's full, and it looked like she invited him in and said, hey, let's go over our scenes, I'm doing this, but you can come in. And I mean, that's where we all come from, a he said, she said thing.
And then it's like, okay, well, that could be convoluted too. Now, I could one time invite you in and you feel that means full on consent, and I feel like that doesn't mean full on consent. That was a one-time offer. So there's a lot there, and like, we're absolutely not diminishing their truths.
Right.
But we are in a position of, like, some of these things we would be offended by and some of these we wouldn't. And gosh, it just is. These two people do not like each other.
The other problem is, too, unfortunately, this is all playing out in the media, where it'd be awesome if we could just wait until we had all the facts.
I know.
We knew this story was going to drop because yesterday we got a story from somebody who had an experience with Blake Lively earlier in their career. They were an intern on some event, and they basically went on and blasted Blake Lively, saying she was unpleasant.
Yeah.
She's flipping the narrative. She's playing the victim. This is a woman speaking from her interactions that she had as working with Blake Lively. And then, of course, we get this other story dropped 12 hours later.
And I think
it's just so much of a
back and forth.
I think it's really important too, as adults, our brains are pretty multifaceted. We need to divide up what is actually, like, if you don't like somebody and deciding like she was rude to me, okay, or she wasn't pleasant to me, and what is an actual sexual or assault or something like that. Because like doesn't mean she's lying just because she wasn't warm and fuzzy or didn't say thank you when you got her coffee to her. And I think, like Mike, you're saying is that a lot of this is it doesn't apply to any of this. People going, well, look at this old interview she did. That's not how this works, people. Like, we are not in the age where I go, you're right. This person dressed like a whore once. They were a whore their whole... Like, that's not where we're at.
No, you have to submit evidence.
And
then they can decide. The judge can go, no, that has nothing to do with this trial. It can't be brought in. It's inadmissible.
It's inadmissible. And I think that we have to, like, literally, because I think that, I will say this about Blake Lively. I don't think she's warm. I don't think she wants to be warm. I don't think she... And I think, like, her brand is supposed to be warm and relatable. But her inside personality is, like, what we find out is, like, she's actually a very busy person who seems super guarded and probably isn't, and that throws people off, especially when women aren't like above and beyond kind. People don't like that. And I'm not putting any judgment on that.
Right.
But I am saying that is coming into play so much here where I go, that doesn't feel right.
Oh, yeah. I mean, since they had their first child, it's been made clear-ish that she's like, no, I'm private and this is exactly how I feel. And I will tell you in no uncertain terms to get off my lawn, basically, about anything I feel or think when it comes to my children or my opinions on certain things and the right to my privacy. So, yeah, I mean, she's just not this like open, jovial book that like the flowers and the beautiful hair and oh my gosh,
I'm
like
a fun girl. I'm a cool girl. Yeah.
She's not Serena van der Woodsen.
No, like, she's not Serena and she's, not the woman in, I forget the name, Ends It With Us.
Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, even. Where she was again.
But even the character in the movie we're talking about, she's the least like that woman as well. Like,
right.
And I think if you're going to do a thought exercise, and again, I just like playing this kind of through, is that Ryan Reynolds is very much so a very similar personality. But for some reason, we like that about him. And we don't like it about our female stars.
No.
And for some reason, that keeps coming into play with all of this. And like, sometimes you can't divide those things out, but I do think you have to try.
So true.
All right. Let's one of our other couples that have really just been a constant on our show is.
And we thank you for that.
We do thank you for that. Jennifer Lopez, aka Jennifer Affleck, and Ben Affleck have made a settlement on their divorce. We found out, we got to break the story last night about it. And it is official. They're settling their divorce. I think they had to then bring this in front of a judge to say, will you officially approve? Because we have agreed on these things. And now they are waiting for that. But the latest filing comes after 5 months after J-Lo had submitted her petition on August 20th. And of course, put her anniversary or put her date of separation as April 26th, which is the anniversary of one of their weddings.
Oof.
I will say this, and I've gone on the record, this man is lovely to divorce. He has not, I mean, they've not only, and I should say she is as well, but in their short time of marriage, he's had way more projects that have done really well. And I should say she's a great person to divorce because she could have fought tooth and nail to be totally involved in every one of those. Like, that's how marriage works. So actually, you know what? Even though I do think Ben Affleck is lovely to marry, I think J-Lo is a person lovely to divorce as well. One thing that J-Lo gets to walk away from, she gets to keep the $5 million green diamond engagement ring.
Oh, nice.
Which I like, too, because it doesn't necessarily look like an engagement ring. You can rock that bad boy whenever you want.
By the way, we are having a top 5 with Rocco today at 5 o'clock, and we are discussing the top 5 people to divorce.
It's going to be a hot one.
It's going to be a hot one. I think I haven't looked at the actual filing or what they asked for. I'm curious, though, how this has happened so quickly.
They really took the mindset of like logic, which like I think you could objectively do if you weren't in the marriage, but I think you would struggle to do if you were in the marriage. And I think that happens a lot in marriages. Is the way that they split things up. I was reading through. It seems obvious. He keeps the projects he worked on. She keeps the projects she worked on. It's not like they were in and that's like, okay, that seems logic. But there's feelings involved in divorces where somebody could say, you made me look like a fool. I'm taking you for everything. They didn't do that. They really walked away saying, it's pretty clear what is yours and what is mine. Let's just do that.
What about that Dunkin' Donuts commercial?
Oh, that's going to be fitty.
That was a Super Bowl ad.
Honestly, she should get most of it because she was kind of slumming with him. He's already committed to Dunkin' Donuts. I think she should get the majority of that, or at least keep the sweat outfit he was wearing.
And like, she looked so good.
I know.
So good.
But she probably gets free dunks.
Have you guys seen some of the pictures she posted from Vail?
No.
Oh my gosh.
She looks like $1 million.
She is thirsty for some attention, and I'm giving it to her because she looks so fantastic. And nothing says skiing in Vail, Colorado, like wearing a bikini in the living room of your rental at Vail, Colorado.
And what kind of hat was she wearing in that that bikini?
What?
She was wearing a cowboy hat. Because who was she hanging out with in Vail?
Oh my gosh, Barry the lead.
Kevin
Yellowstone.
Costner. Yeah.
Yes.
That's all we talked about during the break is her and Kevin Costner. Then the very first thirst trap she drops is her in a bikini and a cowboy hat. Whose cowboy hat you think that was?
She's trolling us, and we are living for it.
She wants us to be talking about anything other than this, and that, I don't know.
I don't think...
But she didn't post any photos with him.
No.
Other people, yeah. But once I think she heard it, then that's the next photo she posted.
Can somebody who's close to J-Lo please tell her to not upgrade your grumpy? Like, let's not go from one grumpy D to the next, okay?
Brittany's telling you this too, then you really shouldn't.
If
Because she
I'm
loves
saying
an
that-
anemic, grumpy man.
If I'm saying that, be a good friend to J-Lo. Reach out.
Tell her, Jenny, you don't have to do this.
You don't have to. You can actually, you're financially well enough to date somebody who isn't grumpy.
Yeah.